you can see it here, and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen.
The first step before anybody else in the world believes it is you have to believe it.
Fourth grade, I went in my closet, I said, I am going to the NBA. Anything you invoke with I am after it, the power of manifestation and what can happen in the universe comes true.
You know what I'm saying? Taking away your mind from what you want to apply it to. Your mind is but a magnet to what you want. You know what I'm saying? The law of attraction, like all the laws of the universe, I studied all the laws of the universe, you know what I'm saying? And I fully apply that.
It comes to you. Your destiny is in your mouth, in your mind.
Definitely. Yeah.
And the person who, once you receive that level of confidence, you know what I mean, and it's practiced properly, it will surpass a genius. There's nothing more supreme than confidence. Confidence breeds success, and success breeds confidence. Applied properly, you're inconquerable.
I took myself from being very average-minded to actually believing that I was, and believing that I could be and that I could be the GOAT and be the greatest and never lose. And to, like, I took myself to a different place mentally, and a lot of it came from mental practice and meditation and visualization and just seeking knowledge from people who are strong believers.
No, I always dreamed as a kid that it was possible to score 80 or 90 or 100. I always just had a dream. Like sometimes you lay down in bed and you visualize things. And you just kind of just that's at least how I would go to sleep. I'd lay down, I'd imagine playing for the Lakers, and I'd imagine what the uniforms look like. I'd imagine what we would be playing, and the smell of the arena and all sorts of stuff. And I would see myself, getting hot, and score 10 straight points. And then, but in a dream, like, why would you ever interrupt that? Like, you're not going to have a dream and be like, okay, and then he misses his next 6. Like, it's not going to happen. So you just keep dreaming and dreaming and dreaming. And before I go to sleep, I'm like at 120 points, And so when you grow up, downloading that into your brain over and over and over, and then, that summer, I made 1,000 shots a day.
100%. Everything comes from the imagination. Everything comes from, before this microphone was a microphone, someone somehow thought about it. How can I speak into something that would amplify my voice and blah, 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 blah. And then this came out of it, and it's evolved over the years. But everything comes from the imagination. So the power of the mind, people don't understand. We still don't understand. I still don't understand how powerful it is. I'm still learning. I know one thing is I can make things happen. I can go into levels, I just can't tell the world, but these levels that I've manifested things that I'm just I still shock myself, how did I make that happen? And this is not even to do with fighting, this is to do with my personal life. And I'm I made that happen. And this is through this manifesting subconsciously as well. Just years of something just manifesting, and boom, it's right there. I'm just I really made that happen. It's scary, man. It's scary for me to even think about.
This is why it's so important that we really have a clear vision so that you know where to go, and that wherever it is, if it is to become a great auto mechanic, or if it is to become a great teacher, or a politician, or a high-tech engineer, whatever it is, but have a vision, and then you go after that, you shoot for it, because now every step of the way is going to be great.
Then he gave me another secret to success when he said, what you have at the moment, Mr. Rohn, you've attracted by the person you've become. What you have at the moment, you've attracted by the person you've become. Few little simple principles here. Once you understand these, it starts to explain so much.
Or whatever that is, and I would visualize things coming to me that I wanted or whatever.
This was in 1987, 85,
yeah. And I had nothing at that time, so it was but it just made me feel better. It made me, at that time, all it really was for me was kind of making me feel better. I would drive home and think, well, I do have these things, and they're out there. I just don't have a hold of them yet, but they're out there.
The amount of work that nobody wants to do because they're not thinking about it is extraordinary. That's the bridge. Anybody is capable of achieving anything. I actually believe that, because I think human beings are designed to change. You're capable of breaking any pattern. You're capable of getting control of your health. You're capable of launching a business. You're capable of making millions of dollars. You're capable of healing your trauma, of finding love, of doing absolutely anything that you put your mind to.
Complete delusion. You gotta believe the delusion. Because it's only delusional until it works. So is it really delusional? I'm only gonna call it delusion until it don't work for nobody else to see, but for the whole world to see. And then once the world see it, there's nothing delusional about it. Now, your delusion becomes, oh, he was a genius. We didn't see it when he saw it. We didn't understand it when he did. We thought this was crazy. But he definitely always figured this thing was the thing to do, and he stuck by that.
So number one was that they had a superiority complex. They thought they were better than other people and that they deserved more. The second is that they suffered from massive insecurity and feeling that they would never be enough. And third, they had impulse control. And so you've got this combination of people who are like, I want to do this big thing. So this big toward thing. And they've got this big away pain that's like, I'm never going to be enough. I always have to do more. And then they have impulse control that keeps them focused on the goal.
First, there's a redemptive power that making a choice has, you know, rather than feeling like you're at effect to all the things that are happening. Make a choice. Like, you just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide. And then from that point, the universe is going to get out your way. It's like, it's water. It wants to move and go around stuff.
This is the law of attraction. I mean, you have to, in the struggle, you know, when things are going good and you visualize these good things happening, you visualize more good things happening, that's easy. What's not easy to do is when things are going bad and you're visualizing the good stuff. And that was what I was able to do. I was able to, you know, even though I was having these troubles at home, and even though I had no job, you know what I mean, or whatever, didn't know what I was doing. If it didn't happen, but I still was able to feel like it was. I still was able to go into a different, just like use my imagination, like a kid would use his imagination. I was basically just using my imagination. Driving a little my girlfriend's car, a little Peugeot 206, and I was driving that, shaking down the road, and I visualized that, and I swear to God, sitting in the traffic and all, I visualized, I'm sitting here holding the steering wheel, visualizing a brand new car, and visualizing good things in times of struggle, and that when you can do that, I think that really makes that law of attraction work. I think it really attracts to you more. You know what I mean? Because that is harder to do when you're in the struggle to visualize these things.
Whenever you think you can't, the confidence comes from the thing that you built. You must build belief. You must build confidence.
Like attracts like. You have to understand, you are a magnet. Whatever you are, that's what you draw to you. If you're negative, you're going to draw negativity. You're positive, you draw positive. You're a kind person, more people are kind to you. So you're like a magnet, you know, and you got to understand something about like attracts like. If you see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand.
Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve, regardless of how many times you may have failed in the past.
Everything originates in the mind. You know, the idea is what inspires the opportunity for you to get up and pursue a business. The inspiration that you observe and you think about, and when you observe an athlete win, and that inspires you to endeavor.
Imagination is everything. It's a preview to life's coming attractions. Everything you've ever imagined is real. See, I tell young people like this. First of all, this is how your imagination works. You got to grab this concept. It is impossible for you to think an impossible thought. That is impossible. You can't think something that ain't possible. You ain't that smart. So if it's in your head, you got to ask yourself, how did it get there? That's God showing you a preview of a coming attraction he has for you. The problem with most people is you think your imagination is hocus pocus. It's really not. It's a preview of a coming attraction.
You have to meet the vibration You
can't be above or below it. It's just what I was talking about, negative energy, positive energy. In order to draw the thing to you that you want to come, you can't want it so much that you fear that you won't get it. You have to want it. So in order for me to be on your vision board, you must have put it there and then you let it go.
Yes.
And then you weren't thinking about it every day. Because you can't, it doesn't come to you that way. You have to do it, and then you have to put it, and then you have to meet that vibration. You have to prepare yourself to be there and ready when it shows up, and you were.
Yeah. So when you're changing your mindset, you're changing your brain. And that means that it's building up new pathways, and that takes time, so it's easy to give up. So it's about not giving up. And the last two are harmony and universal connection, which basically mean we're all connected. There's resources out there for all of us. We shouldn't do anything that disadvantages someone else.
I give you the map. You are willing to do that?
Yeah.
It's the main point, because everyone wants to be Cristiano, but I give you the map. You think you will do it that? It's difficult. It's
The discipline.
The discipline is the most difficult thing, not only in the sports, but in the life.
You have to know that you already are what you want to be. You have to know that you already are what you want to be. It's just a matter of tapping into that version of you, that extension of you that's not yet been tapped into or revealed yet. But that part of you that you want to be, you already are. It's not something outside of you you have to go get. It's an awareness, it's a tapping into. All of that potential was sown into you when you were born. In my faith, you were created in the image and likeness of God. And so all of these things, this is so important to start out today, that you want to be, you already are. There's just a block there that's not allowing you to reveal that version or that extension of yourself, or you haven't tapped into that part of you yet.
If you want to live in a creative way, which will benefit everything in your life, be a better person in your family, be a better, if you're starting a new business, do a better job of starting a new business. It's all the same. You know, I don't really know anything about music. It's more a way of looking at the world and wanting it to be the best it could possibly be, and doing whatever it takes to be the best it could possibly be, and being true to knowing that no one else knows. You know, I'm not saying I know, but that everyone's idea is as valuable as mine. You know, we're all creators.
Because my mother made me believe in myself. No matter how many people tell me, stop believing in yourself. Stop saying what you can do. Stop affirming what you're gonna do and then completing that in real life. That's the improper way to do it. I refuse to follow those rules that society has set up in the way that they control people with low self-esteem, with improper information, with branding, with marketing. I refuse to follow those rules. It's about truth, it's about information, it's about awesomeness, and the only luxury is time, the time you spend with your family. That's the only luxury.